When you unpack the Solar Smart, these are the components you'll see. You'll see a Solar Smart operator, the solar panel itself, chain clip to attach the Solar Smart motor to the window or skylight, which has the mounting bracket, the battery, a rain sensor, remote, wall charger, and a screwdriver. A screwdriver is kind of your multi-tool to put this all together. We'll go ahead and wire it up, put things to the side. So inside the battery compartment is the terminal blocks. We have 2 on the top for the solar panel and 2 on the bottom for the rain sensor. The rain sensor is not polarity specific. Any color wire is okay, but the solar panel is very polarity specific. Positive on top, negative on bottom. And with our solar panel here, it is blue is positive. Blue is positive. Brown is negative. So blue goes on top, brown goes in the bottom on here, just like that. Before you do that, on the terminal block, you'll want to back out these screws. Just a hair. So okay, I'm going to insert the blue wire in position 1. Always good to give these a nice little twist. Keep them tight. You don't want loose strands connecting positive and negative. Put them in there. It's kind of a two-handed process. You want to take one hand to kind of keep them in there. Take another hand to tighten the screws while they're in place. Okay, and get a little indication. The solar panel is getting power because I got a little blinking light already. Looks like I'm in the sun. I'm actually underneath a transparent awning here, which is not ideal for solar, but we're getting it. Okay, so now the rain sensor here. Again, wire order does not matter on the rain sensor, but critically important on the solar panel. But I'm going to still do the blue-brown orientation just for consistency. Again, give these a nice twist. Oops. I am obviously not left-handed. Okay. Now once you get these in here, it's important to check you got a good connection. So don't pull both wires. You want to pull each individual strand, give it a little tug, make sure you got a good connection. If they do come out, just start over. Again, just back out the terminal blocks, push them in there. Okay, with our solar panel connected, we can go ahead and insert the battery, which is right here. Simple as that. Plop her in here. I won't put this on yet because we're going to go ahead and pair it up. On the remote, we'll open the battery cover, plop in one battery, plop in the second battery, give her a flip. First thing we do is setting up the remote. You're going to have to get all the screen to display. Screwdriver also works to keep my thumb out of the screen. So we're going to go ahead and push enter to say Fahrenheit. If you're up north, you can make this go C for Celsius, but we'll make that F for Fahrenheit. Hit enter. And M for main. We'll get into what a secondary remote is later, but you just toggle that S or M. We want to leave it on main. Hit enter, and we're moving forward. Recap on the button says up or open, down or close. Over here we have zone. This button here, A/EN, stands for auto/enter. For doing settings, it's just a standard enter button. Once all set up, we can use this button also to toggle on or toggle off some of the auto programming features. And the bottom one is mode. Okay, with remote ready to go. Inside here, the screwdriver is really good for hitting that pairing button down here. Just kind of push it in there. We'll get the red light to turn red, and it should start blinking here in a second. Alright, once it starts blinking, I have 2 minutes to complete the pairing sequence. Sounds like it's quick, but actually 2 minutes is a long time. This is not Bluetooth, it's radio frequency, but the pairing process is a lot like a Bluetooth. So I'll wake up the remote by pushing any button. Use a screwdriver so you can see. I'm going to hold down mode until the screen changes, long press. We've got pair set is ready to go. I'm going to hit enter once. I'm going to put this in zone 1. Now this is motor 1 in zone 1, so hit enter again. And we got success. We successfully paired. Now the motor is going to fully open and fully close to find its range. I'll fiddle with that as it's doing its process. And this motor is ready to go. I should say this motor is almost ready to go. The last step, which is critically important to make sure that this is going to work over a long period of time, is to make sure the solar panel truly is now set up to charge the battery. This is a battery unit, so you can run for many months just on the battery power itself, and then find out later your solar panel is not really doing its job. So what I'm going to do here is going to check the solar rate from the solar panel. I'm going to hit mode. I'm in zone 1. I'm going to hit enter. Now here I can change the max opening setting, how much it's going to open when you push open. By default it's 80%. We have a different video on changing that. I'm going to hit enter once, twice to get ST. ST stands for status. I'm going to go ahead and enter here. Now it's checking the status of this particular motor, which is 1-1. If I had more than one, I would push up and down to get to a different motor, but I'll just go ahead and enter again. Okay, so this is showing 7.7. This is actually supposed to be V 77 volts. 7.7 volts is what the battery is measuring here, and 37 milliamps is what the solar panel is getting right now. Again, I'm in the shade-ish. It looks brighter on the camera, but I'm actually underneath a transparent roof covering, so it's tinted. We never want to see zero here. Even in the shade, even on a cloudy day, we should at least see a number around at least 20 milliamps of current. This is current, okay? And as I maybe rotate this to a more optimal setting, I'm gonna get a live feed here. No, that won't really change it. Again, I'm in the shade, but this is telling me I've got a good charge rate. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and up now that I'm in the steady mode. This is battery icon for the remote. This doesn't mean I got a quarter battery. This is just a battery icon, and the remote's inside this remote is 67-68%. And I'll hit up again. It's a different display. This battery icon is in here. Motor 1-1 is at 75% charge. So we're doing good. Here we go. So this screen is one of my favorites just because we're now checking the solar rate of the charger in milliamps, 8.2, and getting an accurate volt reading of the battery at 7.8. These batteries are considered a 7.2 volt battery pack, but really at 7.2 volts they are nearing empty. So a fully charged battery will actually say 8.2 or 8.4 volts. Off the shelf here though, 7.8 is where they tend to stabilize at. 7.6 and 7.8 is truly a fully charged battery, and 80% milliamps is doing really good. This here is what we've been nicknaming SolarSmart 2.0. It is the same internal components of our current version of SolarSmart, but we made it a much smaller case and different solar panel. We are really excited about this one because this solar panel actually produces a lot more power than our existing one, even though we've kind of stepped up different iterations of our solar panel along the way as well. But some other key features here is this solar panel actually creates a nice little holding spot for the extra pigtail of wire not used. It tucks away right in there kind of neatly, but it's still 10 feet long. It features a black wire this time, which is normally exposed on the roof, so this will blend into most roof options out there without having to put a sleeve over it to make it a little bit more decorative. And a different wire color than the rain sensor. Again, the rain sensor is white with blue and brown, and this is now black with red and black interiors. We have also split up. We have the terminal block over here as before, and on this side is where we host the rest of the components, the battery and the programming board. But pairing or wiring this up is the same, except for now red is your positive, which will go in the top one. Proven fact, it's hard to do it on camera. Probably should back those out a little further. Using my right hand this time. There we go. Go ahead and screw those down. Again, just snug, not over tighten. And I can tell I'm getting power over here because I got blinky light and the battery's not plugged in. This battery kind of tugs in there a little tight. Small price to pay to get a smaller unit. Take the battery clip, plug it in this direction this time. I hope that's coming out across on the camera. And we slide her in like this and we're good to go. One thing I didn't go over in this unit, I should have, is inside here we have manual buttons over here. So open, and close. This is really handy for installing it on the unit without getting your dirty fingers on the remote. You can still use the remote, but that's just a neat feature. And over here we have a similar thing. They're labeled, they're hard to read, but this one is open. This one is closed. And then this is our pairing button. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the pairing button here again. And using the same remote, I'm going to go ahead and put this one in zone 2. So I'm going to hit any button to wake up the remote. I'm going to long press mode until I get pair set displayed. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit zone again to go to zone 2, and I'm going to hit enter. We're going to put zone 2-1 and hit enter. Success. Now this motor is going to do the same thing, open and close. Go ahead and pause the video for it to complete that. Okay, now that the motor has completely opened and closed and did its sequence, I'm going to again check the solar panel rate of this operator. To do so, I'm going to hit any button to wake up the remote. I'm going to again just hit mode once. Zone 2 is blinking. I can hit zone to select the zone 1, but I'm going to look at zone 2, operator 1. So I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit up till I see ST for status displayed. I'm going to hit enter. Operator zone 1 or zone 2, operator 1, enter again. And I'm now at 7.7 volts, 98 milliamps. This battery and the remote's again still saying 67%, of course. The battery in the unit is measuring at 100%, but 97 milliamps. So we are good. Anything above 20, we're doing okay. But of course, you can see what the numbers could be on a sunny day. And I'm still again behind some roof panels that are well, translucent, but not 100% solar. Okay, now that we have a operator on zone 1 and an operator on zone 2, we can operate them independently or together. So we can first go zone all, which will open all the operators that are programmed into this remote. This one's running, this one's running. I'll hit down to stop that operation. I'll hit zone again, zone 1, this one. I can control all the units in zone 1. I can't do 1-1 or 1-2. I can go all in zone 1. Now just this one is closing. This one's not moving. And I can go up here to zone 2 now and then close this one independently. So again, I can operate the units independently as far as operating all of them in zone 1, up to 9 motors in each zone, and all of them in zone 2, up to 9 motors in this zone. Or I can go to zone all and operate all the motors paired to this remote. So in theory, 9 zones, 9 operators, up to 81 can be operated with a single remote and controlled at once or per zone. Now, even though we can operate these independently, zone 1, zone 2, or zone all, sometimes you might, if you have multiple operators, decide you maybe want one that's in zone 2 to be in zone 1. And we can do that through rezoning. And I'll walk you through that right now. So any button to wake up the remote, I am going to long press mode until the screen changes. I'm going to hit up arrow till we get M, till rezone. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to put this one from zone 2 into zone 1. So I'm going to hit zone to go to zone 2, hit enter. I'm now going to select this motor, 2-1, hit enter. success. That means we connected. Now it's important not to stop now. I need to put it now in a new location. I'm going to put it in zone 1. So I go to zone, we can go up to 9, go all the way back to zone 1, enter. 1-2 is the next available, so I'm going to hit enter and say success. And then again, it's going to do its entire sequence. We have updated our external control input device, or we call it the ECI box, which is here. This is intended to be used with home automation systems that are capable of wired contacts. Momentary relays will control the device that simulate a button press. Similar terminal block like our units here. The first 2 contacts are for open, second 2 are for close, and then these are status feedback loop. Momentary relay should be inserted here. That would be closed momentarily for like a half second to close the loop to simulate the button press. In lack of having a home automation system available to demonstrate this, I'm just going to use a toggle switch for each. I'll go ahead and pause the video and hook these up. Okay, I got these toggle switches installed, which are representing a momentary contact switch that would be, or a relay that would be used by the home automation system. This top toggle here is for close. This bottom toggle here is for open. And we also have manual buttons in here as well for open and close, and this is the pairing button. This is not a battery charged unit. It requires being plugged in. This is the same trickle charger that is used on the motors. It comes with its own, but it's they're interchangeable. Now how this works is this is considered a secondary remote to a primary remote, but this is only going to look at zone 1 on the primary remote. So a little planning is needed. If you want to operate through your home automation system solar smart motors in more than one zone, you're going to need more than one primary remote set up to zone 1. So these two are programmed to zone 1-1, zone 1-2, and we can do a duplicate of this over here as many times as we want for maybe master bedroom, kitchen, garage, living room number 2, etc. So long as you're always using zone 1, multiple remotes, and that they don't interfere. If they're all using zone 1, they're only going to use or operate the motors they're paired to. It's a pairing process, not like an RC car where you got channels 1 through 9 and that's it. It's a pairing process. But the ECI remote's only going to look for zone 1. And that's all okay because your home automation system is really going to be your primary remote, and this is going to be your secondary remote. So it makes sense. You leave this remote in the kitchen where these might be paired up to the other zone 1 remote for the master bedroom, and etc. Okay, moving forward, these are already in zone 1. We did that in a previous video. I'm going to hit any button to wake it up. I am hopefully going to get this on camera. Oh, first things first, sorry, I got to hit the pairing button. Lights blinking and ready to go. Now I have 2 minutes like before to complete this process. I'm going to long press mode. So I get pair set, I'm going to hit up to get the M. As for main, I'm going to hit enter, success. What that just did now is it transferred the programming here of everything in zone 1 over to this device. Now with any luck, can I just go ahead and push open here? There we go. They are running. I hit long press close, and they close. Again, it's a momentary contact, so you got to hold it for a half second from the work. And likewise, the external contacts do the exact same thing. I'm going to go ahead and hold down close for half a second. And they go ahead and close. Set these up so you can see it. Okay, I'll go ahead now and open them. This is the open contacts. So this would be the command received from the home automation system using the momentary relays. I'm simulating with the toggle. And there we go. Battery cover to keep it nice and clean. Flip it over. Again, half press to give an opposite command. Oops, pardon. There we go. Okay, now it is important though, this location, this is radio frequency. So if this box gets placed in an area that is obstructed by like a refrigerator or heavy equipment of any kind, or stuck in a steel box where all the other home automation stuff might be located, it's not going to work very well. So this is like you're placing your Wi-Fi router in your home. Radio signals are like sound, so they got to echo through the building and not be obstructed through, things that block sound. And radio waves are also affected by metal, especially in refrigerators and studded walls and angles. So put it somewhere where it makes sense, where you want your Wi-Fi router to go. And if you think in that regards, this is going to be able to connect well. If you bury this in the back of a closet with a bunch of other electronics, it's not going to work very well.